Welcome back to the Direct Response Podcast. I'm your host, Travis Ketchum from Campaign Refinery with David Cartolano from Wealthy Inbox. What's up, my man?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, dude, because we're talking about one of my favorite subjects, urgency. When it comes to marketing, I feel like there is no greater weapon than urgency to get people to make a decision right now, right? Because the enemy of a sale is, oh, I'll do that later. I'll put that on my to-do list for tomorrow. That's future Travis's problem to decide, right?
Right.
And I know you have a lot of experience writing copy. I mean, have you split test anything with and without urgency about, seeing just how much of a power that really has?
Absolutely. Yeah, urgency and scarcity, which if I sometimes people interchange them, but they're two different things. Urgency is putting a time limit and saying you have only this much time. Scarcity is putting an inventory limit and saying we only have this much. So urgency, yeah, I've used it multiple times over the years, and whenever you stick a time limit and light a fire under people's ass, they move. They really move, unless the offer just doesn't work. But yeah, absolutely. I've almost doubled click-through rates based off of, hey, you got like 5 minutes to get this thing. And it's that simple.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, this year alone, it convinced me and my wife to buy 2 brand new cars that we may have otherwise not, because we had these early pre-order discounts that they finally told us, you gotta, do your business or get off the pot because these discounts are going away. And we're like, oh shoot, it's a pretty good discount, so we better do that. I mean, it scales up is what I'm saying, all the way to cars, right?
Yeah.
A good offer, a damn good offer is a damn good offer. And if it's going to go away, people have a bigger fear of loss than they do an opportunity of gain. And I think that is an important thing to understand at the root of the psychology. But David, there is one cardinal sin that people can do when it comes to urgency that can, in my opinion, throw it all away. What do you know where I'm going with this?
I have an idea.
Let's hear what you think it might be.
Actually follow through with it.
Ta-da!
If you put a time limit on something, actually follow through. Don't lie to people. They'll know. They'll find out, and they'll be like, oh, this boy who cried wolf. You don't really mean that. You're just saying that to be a stunad, which is Italian-American for a stupid person.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping it G-rated.
Yeah. So, yeah, you nailed it. It's basically scarcity is really effective when it's authentic and believable. Okay. Yeah. So if you say something is going to end, it must indeed end. And even if you feel like, oh, we extended it one time and we picked up another 8% in sales, you have destroyed future value when you do that, even if you got a little bump on this one offer, because what you have done is you have trained everyone who thought they were going to buy that they don't really have to buy because your scarcity is no longer real. So the next time you make an offer, you say it's expiring, they're like, well, I can just drag my feet a little bit longer and see what happens, because they'll probably extend it another day or another week or another month or another year, or the offer will come around every single Tuesday until the day that I die, right? And when you do that, it removes all of that power because it no longer has a real teeth to it anymore.
Yep. I got a real problem with evergreen timers, man. They're just not my thing. And I think something that you touched on, and I really want to hone in on it, is, giving people that time limit, but also telling them why it exists. So my rule of thumb when I want to give people scarcity is give them a when and give them a why. And
100%.
there's a study done, I don't know what university did this, but it's like where people were able to cut in line with a much greater success rate because they just gave a reason why. I think it was for a copier or something, and it was astronomical if they either said, hey, can I cut in line? People would be like, no, compared to, hey, can I cut in line? I got to pick up my kid. And people go, oh yeah, go ahead.
Or I have to get this before my job interview that's in 20 minutes or whatever.
Exactly. And that's the sort of thing that it plays into our psychology as human beings. So that's something that when I introduce that concept and said, hey, this is ending in 10 minutes because blank, things just exploded. They just got way better.
Yeah, and I think it's good to validate that this even works for free things, right? I think a lot of times we think about hey, it's only for an offer where we're charging money and we're offering a discount or a bonus or something. And those do work. But I want to highlight an example of where it works for free. It makes a dramatic difference. And I'll give real numbers that we see repeatedly in all different kinds of industries. And I'll tell you why I believe that it works. Okay. So the example I want to give is if people opt in for a free lead magnet, right? It could be a PDF, a video series, what have you. If you know that your free thing is damn good, it actually provides value that gets people closer from point A to point B of whatever it is they want to achieve, right? Whether that's email deliverability, whether that's weight loss, whether that's, how to perfect painting rocks. I don't know. Like pick your random thing, right? If it helps them get closer to it, and that means it's valuable. Okay. The problem is, even if you convince them it's valuable enough for them to give up their information, which is not a small feat, I might add, in a day and age we're inundated, them deciding to give you their real email is not a small thing. It seems like it's a small thing, but it's bigger than most businesses give it weight for. Okay, so even if they've gone that far, their consumption level of that thing that will get them closer to their desired outcome is incredibly and depressingly low. Okay, so the first email you send, which fulfills on that promise of delivering the thing that gets them closer to their end goal, will usually have around a 50% open rate and will usually have between a 3 and 5% click rate. If you're really good, 10 or 15% is like really kind of scraping the upper echelon of the best, okay? But most people are in that 3 to 5% range. So that means out of the people who have decided to give you their personal information to help them get closer to their goal, only 1 to 3% of them even click to view the thing that you're going to give them.
Yep.
Depressing.
Yep.
Right? And that that's important. It's going to get them closer to their goal. And if only 1 to 3% ever see that you can get them closer to their goal by consuming the thing that they asked for, that will get them closer, how many of that 1 to 3% do you think are, ultimately going to buy your next thing, right? Because you've left 97% of the people who were willing to give you their information on the table. Okay?
Yeah.
Big gap from people that already took a big step to give their information. All right, now, let's apply scarcity to the same formula, right? We call it the lead magnet multiplier. Now, if someone opts in and the very first page they get is, look, this thing is so powerful at getting you closer to your goal that we should be charging for it. And to prove that to you, we will charge you for it if you don't go take action and actually take the thing that we're giving you and do something with it. Yep. And so what we do is we say, if you don't go click the link in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to retroactively change the access link in your email to no longer go to the thing. So what happens? People suddenly don't look at those Chrome tabs that look like little Pez candy dispensers about everything else they could be doing, which is what 97% of other people do on normal lead magnets. And instead, they immediately go to your inbox. They immediately go to find your email out of potentially hundreds of unread emails. They open your email and they click your link right away.
Yep.
Okay. And now suddenly, instead of 1 to 3% of every email you send gets clicked, you're now pushed way up to like 60, 70, 80% of every email you send gets clicked on a free thing. And now you've vastly expanded the pool of people that you've shown content that can actually get them closer to their goal, which vastly expands the front of your funnel to buy your front end thing, to book a call with you, to do everything else that's good in your business metrics, just on a free thing. It's pretty like mind blowing, right? So we're talking 75% open rates and 75, 80% click rates. It's truly bananas for a free thing.
Yeah. And I actually implemented this lead magnet multiplier in Campaign Refinery with a client a while back. And I found that our open rates, they stayed the same. The lead magnet itself and the ad copy itself, I think there was a disconnect. The open rates stayed the same, but the click-through rates doubled. Like we went from, I believe it was like 15% click-through rate to like 40, which is insane. And the way that we did it, it's just about setting expectations, right? On the thank you page, it was B2B. So we said, look, this is a list that's, packed with value. You're going to learn X, Y, and Z. But on the thank you page, we said, look, we want to work with people who actually take action. So we're giving you 10 minutes to click this thing and then it's out. And in the intro email, we said the same thing as well. So that way people knew, like, hey, we're taking this seriously. If you want to come on our very serious email list where you have the chance of, automating yourself out of your business and hiring a second in command, this is serious. Don't sit on your hands, man. So I think coming to it, that gave the when. I think it was 10 minutes. That gave the when, and it also gave the why. We said we want to work with people who want to work with them, who are willing to work on themselves. And that just did it, man. The opt-in just shot up. It's just playing into human psychology. Most people won't do stuff until they have to.
Yeah.
So
no,
that raised our click-through rate.
Usually people never wake up and say, boy, I'd really like to consume some business content today. Like,
No.
they're waking up because they have a problem, right? And even it's the reason that most people start working out like crazy on January 1st. But by February 1st, everyone's given up, right?
Yep.
Well, obviously not everyone, but like the vast majority of people don't make it even a month.
Yep.
But two things happened in your example, right? One is you did see the actual KPIs, the click rates went up dramatically. But importantly, from the psychological standpoint, I don't know what the rest of your funnel numbers look like, but you're getting that initial micro commitment. You're getting them to say in their mind, I am now committed to getting this solution, and I'm going to do a couple steps to prove to you, now I'm proving to you that I'm committed to doing this, right? And now they have just a little bit of buy-in. It didn't cost them any money, but they're actually much more involved than they ever were before they completed that action. So it's a very powerful step to start nudging all the other dominoes in your funnel using that urgency. And then, of course, you can implement urgency in all the other aspects as well. Do we want to talk a little bit about just some like general, like higher level strategies about urgency when it comes to doing offers? Because I think that that's an interesting topic that we could explore, especially given both of our backgrounds.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and this might not even be higher level, but like just having timers. Having a timer in your email. There's almost every single email service provider usually has like a content block where you can put a timer. And even if they don't, you can go to like centric.com. You could go on like, there's a lot of different HTML timers out there, but put it in your email, put it on your funnel page or thank you page. That's like a tiny thing. And it works. It works so well because now people can actually see like, oh, I had 10 minutes a second ago and now I have 9 minutes and 59 seconds. Like, they're not playing around. There's a reason why big companies will run ads and say like, oh, you have 3 days left for this Christmas sale, because it works. Attaching numbers to things is really important.
Yeah, I very much agree. But again, just make sure that you're real and you follow through. The offer actually does get revoked. I cannot
no
stress
soft
that enough.
closes. No soft cart closes. I hate that.
Yeah. Okay,
that.
so here's my little nugget for people that I found to be really compelling. So oftentimes people think about, when am I going to run an offer? When am I going to run this scarcity event, right? And getting back to that reason why that we talked about earlier. So usually the reason why is because it's Black Friday, because it's Father's Day, because it's 4th of July. And those are not bad times to run an offer. Any time you can find an excuse to run an offer is a good excuse in my opinion. But there's a way you can level up. And the way you can level up is by making it something that they've earned through their status as a customer or their relationship with you as a subscriber. So there's a couple ways you can implement this. One is you can take a look at who are your best spenders, right? Because you're a VIP, because you're a repeat customer, because you've been on my list longer than 2 years, right? These are all things that you can probably set up automations for. Or, one thing that we have on our system is like we can track and give points, people open emails and when they click links. And so you can actually accrue points over time, and you can actually create incentives that are visible to the subscriber that they will unlock. And then the unlock can actually be a flash sale discount.
Yeah.
But it can be positioned as an evergreen offer that is only available to them for a limited time as a reward for their level and status as a subscriber. And this is a really cool unlock because, again, I told you in the beginning of this, right? The fear of loss is way more powerful than the benefit of gain. And so you have, okay, it's Black Friday, it's a good deal. Do I really want it? What would I really gain by getting this good deal? The difference when you take that exact same offer and replace the reason that they're getting it with their status is it feels like something that they've earned, that they've worked for. So, for example, if you told somebody at their job, hey, I'm going to give you a $500 holiday bonus, you know, just for coming in on an extra Friday because it's the holidays. You're like, okay, like, but do I really want to work the holidays or whatever? Where if you said, hey, you can get a $500 holiday bonus if you've worked here for 2 years and you come in on Friday.
Now you're special.
Now I'm like, it's an elevated status. I can get this. I feel like a jerk now if I don't take advantage of this because everyone who hasn't been here as long as
Right.
me isn't even eligible for this offer, right? It just a slight tweak on that offer. Same exact fundamentals, but the tweak on the reason why being more powerful, more personal, and more painful to give up makes a world of difference in the exact same positioning for the urgency.
Yeah. One of the things that I've done, and you actually triggered like a memory of one of the techniques that I use, is we find the buyers on the list or the most loyal subscribers. And if we are doing an urgency slash scarcity based campaign, one of the things we do is we go to those people first and say, and this is the copy. Hey, look, you've been on our list, or you bought this program, so we wanted to tell you about this first. And usually the subject line, I say, it's like you're 1% of people getting this email. And we say we wanted to escort you to the front of the line first as a thank you for your loyalty. But you have 24 hours to check this out before we send this to the rest of the list, which has. And I like to say, before we send this to our list with, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people on it. So that way they are part of the cool club. They are part of the loyal customer club. And I've gotten sales off of it occasionally. We've gotten responses saying like, thank you for thinking of me, but I'm going to pass on this. And it taps into that need to be part of the 1%. That I think all humans do. We like to feel like we're special.
Yeah, and it's unique. I mean, one more real recent example that I can give, that's a great one, by the way, thanks for sharing, is I like to buy from this company called Nomad. Like they made this watch band, they make charging accessories, right? And they had a pretty good Black Friday sale that was solid. I picked up a handful of chargers and some nice USB-C cables, whatever, right? Really premium products, pretty good sale price. I was like, all right, cool, happy with that, happy with the products. They showed up, they're great. I just got an email yesterday that said, thank you so much for participating in our Black Friday sale, right? We really value you as a customer. Here's a special coupon code that gets you $20 off your next purchase of $60 or more if you use it by December 15th.
Oh, they're good.
And I was like, damn, I want to high five. I want to buy it just to reward this campaign for being good. Like, I'm just going to go find something that qualifies to get the $20 off. I mean,
brilliant.
I need more electronics. Like I need another hole in my head, right? But I'm looking at it and thinking like, this is a well-executed boomerang campaign where you're taking your great buyers that just bought in the last 2 weeks, right? So there's that recency, and then you're trying to increase the frequency. So recency and frequency are some of the biggest things for creating velocity and, brand buy-in and all those kind of things. So I was super impressed with that. Like, hey, you're getting this. And here's the thing, and I love this too. They write these kind of emails as looking like plain text, like looking like something you would send out of Gmail.
Oh, I love it.
Whereas the Black Friday thing was splashy and image heavy and showing off new products and fun because, they have a lot of colors and fun things like that. But this was just text because they know I'm a buyer. They're cutting right to the point. It was written and felt a lot like a personal email and just said, hey, thanks so much for, being a loyal customer. Here's a discount code for it to give you a little treat yourself something for the holidays as long as you go spend $60 or more.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
I loved it. Loved every bit of it.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's so smart. I need to use that.
Cool. Well, I think that gets people some really juicy things related to urgency. Just to recap the takeaways, urgency is one of the most powerful levers you have combined with scarcity, but urgency being, I think, even more readily available to deploy. So long as you actually follow through and you aren't a lying POS and you actually revoke access, and that you really focus on the reason why it exists to tap into that deeper level of understanding, commitment, and buy-in. And then for the extra cherry on top, if you can make it feel like something they've earned or they've generated through their efforts, you really take it you magnify that effort to the next level. Is that an accurate recap?
That's wonderful. And don't be
Cool.
afraid of doing it. Some people might be worried if you're listening to this and say, I don't know, that might tick people off. I've never found it has, ever, because people are used to it by all the big brands. So why should you be any different?
Yeah, and I just want to note, it doesn't have to be a discount. It can be a bonus. So
Yep.
you'll note like Apple's Black Friday deals, because they're very brand conscious. They are not discounts. They are additional bonus gift cards you get when you buy the products. So I know we always talk about discounts because that's one of the easiest levers. Is just like, hey, I'll cut the price and make it more interesting. But it could just as easily, depending on your positioning or how your customers react, be a bonus, be a value add. If you buy a charger, you're gonna get a free USB cable. If you buy, you're extending the value in a way without eroding the price anchoring, right?
Yep.
But the core concepts of the urgency are exactly the same. It just doesn't always have to be discounts. Discounts just tend to work in most cases. So,
Yeah, especially B2C.
yeah. Cool. Well, if you want to learn more and you want to execute things like the lead magnet multiplier, that's where Campaign Refinery comes in. But you can certainly execute this same strategy on other platforms. We just happen to have it baked in. We have a free training for that, which is linked in the overall document down below about using urgency. And David, let them know.
Yeah. And if you're interested in selling your newsletter and you want to see like what investors are looking for and how to prepare your newsletter, you can go to wealthyinbox.news and check out a newsletter, my newsletter, on how to do that. Unless you're Stunad that uses fake scarcity, then don't bother. Don't even bother. I don't want to work with you.
But if you want to learn how to create scarcity around someone buying your newsletter, then David would be the guy to help you do that. Craft that good offer, get a bidding war, create some scarcity, a hot commodity.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to pull the offer off the table. You have the leverage. If you have the leverage, you can say, hey, we either do this deal in the next 2 weeks or we don't.
Yeah,
and
figure out a good reason why.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. Well, till next time, catch you guys later.